Righty. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Welcome, everyone. Hope everyone is having a really great Thursday so far. You are attending Aparo's Nonprofit Bites and Insights. These are our webinar series that are tailored specifically for nonprofit professionals. We have speakers and experts from all different industries to come share their insights and knowledge with us. Today, our example will be Ashley Street from Rank Monster. She is going to lead our conversation today around navigating Google Ad grants. So really excited for the tips and tricks she's going to share with us. But before I turn it over to her, let's go over some housekeeping details. So this webinar is being recorded and it will be uploaded onto our website as well as our YouTube page. But all of you who are attending live today are going to receive a follow-up email from me. I will include the direct link to the recording as well as a slide deck. Q&A and chat box are available for you to use as well. Please use that throughout this presentation, drop in your questions at any time. We will be having a Q&A at the end to address those. A little bit about Aparo if you are new to what we do. So we are a nonprofit. We're based in Charlotte, North Carolina. And basically what we do is we help other nonprofits with their technology needs and challenges. So we have a number of services to help make sure that we're meeting your needs. So that includes free one-on-one consulting, free one-on-one coaching, some guidance on resources and solutions, getting connected with discounted vendors. We also offer customized team training. So if you're looking to upskill your staff, we can help with that. And then we also have tailored solution projects. So we make sure that you're finding a solution that's tailored to exactly what your nonprofit needs and are looking for. So the best way to learn more about what we do and just to get a sense of what services you'd like to access, best way is to go to our website at aparo.org to learn more. And then finally, these are the different ways to connect with us. So if or when you decide you'd like to access our services, the best way is to go to our website and fill out that request form, and someone will get in contact with you as soon as possible. Also recommend subscribing to our email list to stay posted on our events and programs. My email address is there too if you'd like to connect with someone directly. And then lastly, a simple request, if you like what we do, please consider writing a short Google review. All right, that is it for me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go ahead and turn it over to Ashley. Ashley, you are on mute. Try again.
Yes.
There you
All
are.
right. Here I am now. Sorry, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Yes, as she mentioned, today we are talking about Google Ad Grants. I know that some of you do not yet have Google Ad Grants and some of you do. Today's workshop is going to be mostly tailored to those that have ad grants. But the great news is that what I'm talking to you about today will be good for your website, whether you have a grant campaign or not. So first of all, a little bit about Rank Monsters. My name is Ashley Street. I am the CEO and founder of Rank Monsters. We have been working with nonprofits since 2011, and we are one of 46 agencies worldwide certified by Google. We were one of the original 9 agencies certified and went through a year of training in 2018 to learn how to maximize ad grant for grantees. So everything we're going to be talking about today is going to be how to get the most out of your ad grant and your website as a whole. We do specialize in ad grants, SEO, landing pages, conversion tracking, and training. Training is important because as one of the certified agencies, what we love to do is to educate others on how to use Google Ads and how to get the most out of their website to further their mission. So the table of contents, we're going to talk about the purpose of our website or our workshop today, We're going to talk about what Google Ad Grants is, the eligibility criteria, how to apply for ad grants. We're going to show some of our results so you can see what you can get out of ad grants and what the importance is. We'll talk about best practices, how to maximize your campaign, the importance of landing pages and conversions. Also, if you currently have an ad grant campaign, we'll talk about low performance. So if you have a campaign running and it's not getting results, we'll talk about some of the reasons that might be. Also, we do have a special offering should you want to use our services. However, everything we're going to talk about today, you can implement on your campaign as well. And we're always here to answer questions. And so I'll provide my contact information at the end. All right, so the purpose of today's workshop is to explain, well, what is Google Ad Grants? Once you get the ad grant, how do you maximize it? We're going to talk about engaging landing pages. Once you get a user to your website, how do you get them to convert? So this is going to be important based on what your mission is, what kind of conversion action you're looking for. And then also having a plan in place. Once you do get a lead from your website, how do you turn that lead into a donor if that is the end conversion metric goal that you're looking for? And something that's that we have found that's pretty unique, once you get what we call a micro conversion, it's best to go ahead and make your next ask within 24 hours of someone making their first conversion. And so we'll get more to that throughout this presentation. So what is Google Ad Grant? So Google Ad Grant is essentially, it's a credit that Google offers to 501c3 nonprofits. It is $10,000 a month in free Google ads. So these are the ads that you see at the top of the search result. When you go to the search engine and you're searching keywords and you see ads at the top, those are called Google Ads. So if you qualify for the Google Ad Grant, you would receive $10,000 per month in that free ad spend. It is a credit. It goes directly into the Google Ad campaign. And then you use that grant to further your mission through Google Ads. So Google Ad Grants works just like any other standard advertising. It is the text ads displayed at the top of the search results. You do have to qualify for the ad grant, and we're going to get to that here shortly. So this is an example of a text ad. So this is one of our clients, Museum of the Bible, and we're going to be using a few of our clients as an example today. Now, for this example, we just did their brand name, Museum of the Bible, in the search. But you would use your brand, but you would also use other keywords. An example here would be things to do, Washington, D.C., museums, Washington, D.C., could be specific Bible verses. Basically, any keyword that's relevant to your website or to your mission, if you have content on your website, you could target that keyword within the Google Ad Grant. So up here at the top, these are paid ads. So that's what that $10,000 ad spend goes towards. That it's $10,000 a month again. And something to mention here is once you get the ad grant, you continue to get the $10,000 a month, month after month after month, as long as you maintain your account's eligibility, right? So as long as your ad grant account stays compliant, you continue to get it. It's not an annual grant, you continue to get it. So it is very valuable because it sends a lot of traffic back to your website. And if you have your campaign optimized correctly, it will send your target traffic back to your website. So this is an example of the paid ads that the Google Ad Grant supports. And then this is organic listing below. Okay. So ad grants eligibility. Pretty much, if you are a 501c3 nonprofit, you will qualify for the Google Ad Grant. You do have to have a high quality website. If you do not currently have a high quality website, we would be happy to look at your website and give you some suggestions before you apply. There's just some simple things like you need your 501c3 status in the footer of your site. You have to have high quality images and your mission needs to be clear. And you have to also agree to Google's non-discrimination and donation use policies. Rank Monsters, we work with nonprofits all around the world, and we specialize in Christian-focused nonprofits. And so just to let you know, the organizations that we have worked with, they have all been qualified and approved for the ad grant. Eligibility exemptions, it's not for government organizations, hospitals, or healthcare. Now we do get free clinics qualified. So if you're a free clinic in your local community, then we could look at that. And then also universities and schools do not qualify. Now in the past, we have been able to get foundations qualified if they're giving out scholarships or grants. So there are some exceptions. So if you fall into the area of may not qualify, please feel free to reach out to me for more information. So we're going to talk a little bit more about your website's eligibility. And honestly, these are things that you would want to do whether you are applying for the ad grant or not, because these are things that need to be done so that your website shows up organically. You must have an SSL certificate. By now, I'm sure everybody on this call has done that because this has been a standard for over a year now. Also, you want to make sure that your website is loading quickly. You know, all of your images would need to be optimized so that it loads quickly on desktop and mostly mobile. No commercial use. What this means is that you can't be running AdSense on your website. So you can't use the ad grant and be selling ad space. You can sell commercial products, so please don't confuse this. They're not commercial products, but you can be selling products on your website that help further your mission, such as the Museum of the Bible has a gift shop, and they sell lots of products on their website, and we use the ad grant to promote those products. Also, we have several nonprofits that sell t-shirts on their websites. So if you sell products on your website that support your mission, that would be approved. You would want your website to be mobile optimized. Most everybody is searching on mobile devices now, and your ads will need to be mobile friendly. Another thing to note here is that we can get multiple websites approved to use one ad grant. So essentially, when you're approved for the ad grant campaign, it's per EIN number. So that account could advertise multiple domains as long as they're associated to your overall nonprofit. So if you want to apply for Google Ad Grants, if you don't yet have it and you want to go down this process yourself, a couple things to note here. One, you would start with registering on TechSoup. Now, I'm sure that most of you are already on TechSoup, even if you don't know that you are, because a lot of times when we apply for people, they think they're not on TechSoup, and then we go down the process and we find an old account. So you would want to start there. Go to TechSoup.org and try to register. If you already have an account there, it will instruct you on how to recover your account. TechSoup.org validates your 501c3 and will create a token that will be used in the application part. Also, TechSoup is where you can find out what other grants you would be available to your organization based on your classification. So after you have been validated on TechSoup, you'll want to go over to Google for nonprofits, and it's just google.com/nonprofits and start your application. And you'll follow the steps there, and it will create your ad account, and you'll be walked through all of the steps. In doing this process on your own, it will also provide you with the eligibility and criteria. Again, if you go down this path and you get stuck, feel free to reach out to us. So that kind of concludes the portion where we're talking in general about what is Google Ad Grants. So if you do have any questions, feel free to add those here. I'm going to look at the chat so that I can maybe answer some of those that apply. I see. Okay. So this next part, we're going to dive into creating campaigns, ads, and conversions. But first, let's talk about some of the companies we work with and their results. So you might be wondering, I think we kind of covered why you would want the Google Ad Grant and kind of what it could do for you, but here's kind of a better overview of that. So January to September, Museum of the Bible received, well, a lot of ad impressions and almost 400 clicks from the ads that went back, 400,000 clicks from the ad that went back to their website. So this free grant money sent over 400,000 people to their website from January to September. So that's awesome because that's traffic to their website from their target audience. So these are people that are looking for information about the Museum of the Bible or information that the Museum of the Bible has to give on their website. Our ad click-through rate was almost 12%, which is very high. That means we are targeting the right audience with these grant ads. And they had over 1,500 conversions. So these are their conversions. And what a conversion is when an action is taken, a form is completed, a newsletter is completed for a newsletter sign up, a donation is given, a product is purchased. Those are all examples of different conversions. And in that time period, the Museum of the Bible spent $819,000 of this free ad grant spend. Now, Museum of the Bible is on Ad Grants Pro, so they're on an elevated version of the Google Ad Grant. So next, let's talk about St. Andrew's Abbey. From January to September, they had almost 400,000 impressions and almost 30,000 clicks, so traffic to their website from the ads. They have almost an 8% click-through rate, and they had 502 conversions. Again, their conversion actions are, they have a shop on their website where they sell products made. And then they also have retreats and downloads and other information that they offer on their website. Next, we're going to talk about another one of our nonprofits, which is a community music school. And they had a lot of impressions, about 11,000 clicks. Their click-through rate was 7.16, and they had over 400 conversions. They are a community-based music school, so their conversions are signing up for lessons, requesting information about lessons, joining camps, and things along those lines. And they spent almost $100,000 of the ad grant so far this year. And then this last example is a new customer, and they just came on in July. And so this is a fairly new campaign. And so you can see, even with new campaigns, you can get traction quickly underneath the Google Ad Grant when your campaign is structured correctly. So in this time period, they've had over 20,000 impressions, over 2,000 clicks on these ads. So traffic users back to their website. They have over a 9% click-through rate on their ads, and they've had 20 conversions and spent over 18,000 of the ad grant in that time period. So this just kind of gives you an idea. It is $10,000 a month. You may not spend all $10,000 in that month. And if you don't spend it, you just don't spend it. Next month, you've got $329 per day to spend again, basically. And so the first goal of any ad grant campaign is to get as much impression share as you can, to spend as much as that of the ad grant as you can, and start getting your conversion data. Then from there, we optimize your campaign to where you're getting the most conversions for your ad grant spend. So next we're going to talk about ad grants best practices. So when you're in, so you have to be kind of familiar about managing a Google ad campaign. But when you're starting to kind of visualize and plan how you're going to structure this, the first thing you want to do is think about your target keywords. What all keywords would be relevant to your website as it is right now and to your mission? And when we're talking about keywords, we're talking about what kind of keywords would your target audience be searching on Google that would help connect them with your organization? What are their interests? What is your website about? What value and content does your website give? And what are those keywords? So you'll want to come up with a lot of different keywords and group them together. All the similar keywords go together to make different ad groups. The next thing you're going to want to do is to write compelling ad copy. And actually, the Google ad platform helps with this a lot. So when you put your target landing page inside of Google Ads, it will come up with ad copy based on what your landing page is saying. And then you can kind of craft it to your focus keyword and to who your target audience is, and make sure to have call to actions in there and tell them more about what you're going to provide them once they get back to your website. Optimize your landing page. So this is important. When using Google Ad Grant, you do not want to send people just back to your homepage. The only reason why you would be sending them to your homepage is if it's for a brand keyword. But if it's for a different keyword other than that, a specific keyword, you want a landing page that is relevant to that keyword. And then you're going to want to optimize that landing page from the page title to the images on the page and to the conversion action. So I know I've been talking a lot about conversions, and we're going to get into that and some examples of conversions. But you will need to create meaningful conversions on your website, because when you get a user back to your website, the landing page on your website, you want to give them an action to take so that you can capture that user and get them involved in your mission in some way, whether it's a newsletter or whatever, but you want to capture them once you get them to your website. If not, you're just using the ad grant to get traffic to your website, and that's not the purpose. Lastly, as your campaign is running, you'll want to track and analyze your campaign performance so that you can make adjustments as needed. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight to how we maximize ad grant campaigns. So one thing we've talked about is landing pages a lot, and that's something that we really get creative with when we look at websites. We look at basically the pages they currently have on their website, and then we talk to our customers to find out how we could kind of get creative from there. New pages that we could create for their website where it would reach their target audience in a different way. Because sometimes when you have a website and you're a nonprofit, your keywords can be very similar to all the other nonprofits, charities near me, nonprofits and we're not wanting to just use general keywords like that. We're wanting to find keywords that would be very specific to your website so that we can create creative and basically advertise for as many keywords as we possibly can to get the most traffic back to your website as possible. And then again, the ultimate goal is once we get the traffic back is to capture them in some way with a conversion action. And I've got some examples of that, of creative landing pages. So again, this is Museum of the Bible. And so Museum of the Bible, they have thousands of pages on their website, from Dead Sea Scrolls to just everything you could possibly think of that's relevant to biblical history and topics. And so we advertise all of those. We use all of those as landing pages for the ad grant. And so if somebody is searching for a specific topic, like this specific Bible, the ad for Museum of the Bible for this landing page will come up. And so if somebody clicks on that ad, they'll be taken to a landing page that's specific about this Bible, and they can find out more information. And on this particular information, or on this particular landing page, they can actually watch a video about it. And so this is important. And this is what I'm talking about when I say be creative, because, you know, this isn't Museum of the Bible's end goal. They would like to sell tickets to the museum. They would like donations. They would like to, you know, sell things from their gift shop, you know, as their primary conversion goals. But a big part is just engaging with their target audience as well. And this is one way to do that. So someone's interested in this topic and they have that relevant information on their website. So once the user gets there and they watch the video and they find out more information, they now have an easy call to action. They can sign up for a monthly or for a daily book minute, and, you know, and that's like a daily email that they will get. And that's a way to then engage with this user more than them just coming to the website and then leaving. And to sign up, it's super simple, you know, and that's important. Your initial conversion needs to be simple. You know, we don't really ever ask for donations right up front from a brand new user. Now, of course, your donor page is on the website, but we would never use just the donation page as a landing page for the ad grant, especially if it's a first-time user. They don't have a relationship with you really yet to donate. So we try to create relationships in different ways. The next thing we're going to look at St. Andrew's Abbey. And this is one of their top performing landing pages, and it was a retreat. And their simple call to action here was to download the brochure, you know, and when they go to download the brochure, it captures their information. So this is another example of an easy conversion or an easy opt-in. And of course, Community Music School. I wanted to give an example from them as well. And they have, you know, schedule an interview lesson. So their easy call to action is to schedule an interview lesson instead of just scheduling a lesson, you know, right off the bat. And so that makes someone completing the conversion easier. It's an easier yes before the big ask, always. So again, I just wanted to give a little bit more on best practices for conversion tracking. And one of that was a gradual approach, which we just saw. Micro conversions and relationship building. And that's just, you know, them completing the initial ask and then you having a plan to follow up, whatever that looks like. Whatever your follow-up process is. Do you send an email? How do you guys reach out after that initial conversion is completed? And then I wanted to give some examples of other conversion methods that we use on websites. So one was the newsletter sign up. Contact forms, we use those a lot as well. One that's creative is completing a survey. And this actually works really well. And we use this for the ad grant campaign too. We do survey type ad campaigns. And this is where you're qualifying basically if the user agrees with your mission and your objectives. And so it goes through a series of questions that are in line with your organization's mission. And at the end, they can submit it. And then you follow up with a way for them to get involved. And surveys work very well for conversions, and sometimes even better than forms, because people get to give their opinions and they get to engage. And then, of course, resources and downloads. Offering valuable resources for downloads like we saw on St. Andrews Abbey. So if you have information that somebody could download, an example for that would be like on Rank Monsters website. We don't do this, but we could offer a download for, what to do if you have a low performing campaign, a low performing checklist. So something along that line that could be of value to your user that they might want to download. And before they download, they would simply enter their name and email to download the information. And then that gives you an opportunity to follow up with them based on their interest level, because you now know what they're interested in. And then the last part is that in doing any of these conversion actions, the purpose of it is to capture their information so that you can follow up. So we're going to talk next about low performing campaigns. And so this is for somebody who currently has a Google ad campaign running and they're not getting the performance that they would like. And so when we are taking on new accounts and they've been running, these are things that we look for. So the number one is competitive ad groups. So when you're structuring your campaign, if you have multiple ad groups targeting the same landing page, then it's most likely targeting the same group of keywords as well. And those keywords are essentially competing with each other, the ad groups are. And when that happens, neither group can perform at its best ability, and neither one kind of gets impression share. They simply just don't perform at all. The next thing to look for is a low click-through rate, which, if you remember from a slide above, I was talking about our click-through rates. And what this signals is that our ad copy is good and it's connecting with the right target audience. So we're targeting the right keywords, we're getting in front of the right users, and they are clicking on our ads. If you have a low click-through rate, that could indicate a few things. One, you don't have your keywords targeted enough, or two, you're missing it with your ad copy. It's not compelling enough, and users are scrolling past your ads and not clicking on it. It also could, a low click-through rate could also mean that your ad placement isn't high enough. And so that would indicate that you need to improve your quality score so that you get better ad placement. You do have to maintain a 5% click-through rate in order to keep your account compliant with Google Ad Grants. So we talked a little bit about eligibility criteria and compliance. There's a whole list of things, and I really can't talk about them all today, but I did share links so that you can go view those. But one of the biggest ones that we see an issue with is that 5% click-through rate on ad groups. So you'll want to get above that. And so if you have lower than that, again, you need to check your keywords, your ad copy, and your ad group quality score. So the Ad Grants Policy Compliance Guide, if you are failing to maintain compliance, even if your campaign is still running and it hasn't been suspended, it could still limit your impression share or your ability to get results if you're not in compliance. So you'll want to check the compliance and make sure that you are in compliance with everything, and then that's not an issue for low performance. The next thing most people have maybe a challenge with is the bid structure of the campaign. And Google Ad Grant campaigns, they run on a conversion-based bid structure. And so that's why I keep talking about conversions. Well, one, because I want you to capture your audience so that you can engage with them. But two, because if you don't get conversions on a Google Ad Grant campaign, Google thinks that you're not relevant for that keyword and you'll no longer get impression share for that keyword. So you have to make sure that you're getting conversions. The more conversions you get, the more that Google can see you are, yes, relevant for those keywords, and your campaign will get more impression share and higher placement. So we use max conversion value. So that's a little bit different because you'll have to have meaningful conversions in place to use that. And you also have to assign monetary values to this bid structure. But we get the best results using max conversion value. The next thing is you could be targeting highly competitive niches. So the Google Ad Grant is free, ad spend from Google. So essentially, you're competing with other paid advertisers. So if you're targeting keywords that a whole lot of paid advertisers are also targeting, it's going to take you a while to get there because your account's going to have enough data. You're going to have a high enough quality score. You're going to have a proven track record of conversions being completed. So that's why it's not that you can't get there, because we absolutely do get there with our campaigns and we are performing in highly competitive niches and keywords, but it kind of takes time and you've got to build your campaign up to that. And so that's why I was talking about being creative with your keywords. How else can you target your audience other than the standard keywords that everybody else is targeting? How can you be creative? What kind of content can you create that would be valuable to your user? And this is not only important for ad campaigns for the Google Ad Grant, but this would also help you tremendously with search engine optimization, because this is what you do in SEO as well. You create unique pages and keywords that reach your target audience. So you kind of need to look at your competitive niches and come up with more potential keywords so that you can grow your campaign to get a higher quality score to then compete in the more competitive niches. And then next we have leveraging ad extensions. So yes, you have your text ad, but then you have all kinds of call outs that you can add. You can add your phone number, you can add call to actions, you can add other pages. So please add those, because the bigger your ad looks and the more options you have, the higher your click-through rate will be. And then lastly is ad quality improvement. So your ad, what you're advertising for, is going to match the keyword that you've selected to target. And then you need to make sure you're taking them back to a landing page that matches your ad and your keyword, because all of that goes together to give you a higher ad quality score. The higher ad quality score you have, the more impression share you'll get, but then you have to be getting conversions to continue to grow that impression share. So I know that was a lot of information, and I hope that some people have some questions, because I'd love to answer some questions specific about your campaign or your website. But Rank Monsters, we do offer free training, and we answer questions and we'll direct you in the right direction. So feel free to reach out to me. We also can handle all of this for you. So if you do not have the Google Ad Grant yet, or if you currently have a campaign and you need it optimized, we offer a one-time fee. We have monthly packages as well, and I'll talk about those next. But we prefer to work with people on this one-time fee if they can, and then train them how to maintain their campaign after that. And so what we do, this is about a 3-month process. We usually charge $14.99 for it, and we're offering it for $9.99 to everybody that's attended this webinar. It is a 3-month process. We will apply for the ad grant if you don't have it, get the ad grant, but then we structure your campaign. So we'll go through your website. We will we'll have a discovery meeting with your team and brainstorm to create some of those creative landing pages that we talked about. We'll implement those for you and then structure your entire ad campaign and get it up and running. From there, then we manage it over the next few months to get it performing at its best ability before we provide hands-on training to your team and turn it over. So we will train your team how to continue to grow it or to maintain what is already there. There is no limit to the amount of ad groups that we'll create for you. We basically are going to put your best foot forward. The more you have on your website currently, of course, the more ad groups we'll be able to create. With this package, I believe we create 2 landing pages for you, the creative landing pages that we talked about. So the more you already have there, then of course, we can utilize all of that and then create 2 new landing pages for you. But this is just a great way to get started. And again, if you currently have an ad grant running and it's not performing, this is perfect too, because we can optimize that campaign, create those landing pages, get your performance up, and then teach you how to continue to manage it. And I'll make sure everybody has this link as well so you can sign up if you would like. After you complete our initial management, our initial one-time fee package, and we get your campaign up and running and it's performing really well, you then have a couple of choices. We still train your team on how to manage it and how to maintain compliance. But if you want us to continue to manage it, we will. And we have packages ranging from $99 a month all the way up to $6.99 a month. So our lower package at $99 a month is where we maintain eligibility only. So this would be like a combination of your team managing it, and then our team makes sure that you stay in compliance and will alert you if you do anything that's outside of compliance. And then also you can ask us questions and we can offer you guidance. So this is a great way to continue with us, but your team still manage the campaign. Next is Monster Impact, and this is where we completely manage the ad grant campaign for you. And report back to your team monthly. We'll have strategy meetings and continue to grow your campaign. Then we have Monster Mission. It includes the ongoing ad grant management as well as search engine optimization for the rest of your website. And so this is optimizing the other pages on your website as well as continuing to create new pages to use for SEO purposes, but also to use to grow the ad grant. So here is my contact information as well as the product on our website that you would purchase for the discounted pricing. And then you can reach out to me. Sales@RankMonsters is our general email, but my email is ashley@rankmonsters.org, and I'll make sure that you guys have that as well. All right. So I'm going to read through some of our questions just so I can answer. And is this okay for Q&A now? Okay. And
Absolutely.
then awesome. I only have 2 questions. So if anybody else has a question, throw it in there. Okay, so someone said, do you need to worry about having the same keywords capitalized in lowercase? Example, youth and youth. No, you don't need to worry about that. But I'm glad that you asked that because on the Google Ad Grant, you cannot use single keywords, which I'm sure you weren't even talking about that, but I do want to let everybody know you couldn't just target the keyword youth. Youth program you could, but you can't you can't target just youth. Now, if there is a reason why it would be a single keyword, you can ask for an exemption, but you have to complete a form before targeting that keyword so that you don't get your account suspended. Okay. Well, I only had one question and then one LinkedIn message. So
There is a question in the Q&A. So the question is, we are a local Parkinson's disease nonprofit, and there's a national who has been slowly coming into our area. Inevitably, we will have the same keywords. How can we make ours stand out?
So that one's going to be hard because they're a national organization, so their website is going to be much larger and have a lot more content. So their relevance is going to be higher than yours. So as far as ads, there's going to be maybe a quality score challenge. However, you are local and you will have an advantage there. You might have to add some local type language to your ad copy. Now for search engine optimization, you'll kind of have the same challenge that I talked about. But again, since you're local and you've been there a while, you'll just need to make sure that you have all of your pages really strongly optimized and you should hold your rank.
If other people, if it's easier to raise your hand and unmute, you can go ahead and do that. I can unmute you and you can share kind of what you're experiencing or want to share just verbally. If it's easier than typing it in, we can do that as well. I wonder, Ashley, with AI being crazy, I wonder if AI can help with those keyword searches. What do you think?
You could certainly use AI to maybe come up with some more keyword ideas. I would think, yeah. Traditionally, we don't do that yet. Not that it's a good idea, but typically by brainstorming together, we can come up with some good ideas. So like for you guys, if you were you were using the ad grant, because I'm going to start brainstorming with your team.
Right.
And a simple and easy way is to use your frequently asked questions. Whatever your users or your customers or your donors are frequently asking you, that is the best way to create content for your website and to use for your Google ad campaign. So you might have a frequently asked question of like, top ways to raise donations or something along those lines. I'm sure you have something way more specific and like technology related, but that was a general example. So you could use that top ways to raise donations during, something specific. And then create a blog around that and then use that as a landing page for your ad grant. So a lot of times when we're creating these new pages to reach our audience in different ways, we do it through the blog. So do you have like a frequently asked question that your audience asks you so we could get more specific on it?
I think so. I focus on our education services. So the questions that come through for me specifically is always around support on a certain tool, support on understanding how to maximize and leverage Microsoft 365, for example, or Google Workspace. So in terms of frequently asked questions for education, it's always around those pieces.
Yeah, so an example is you could take any of those pieces and then add 4 nonprofits to it, and then create your step-by-step resource basically, and turn that into a blog. And then your actionable item at the end would be a simple contact form for them to contact you and get hands-on help with that issue. And that's now a creative way to engage with your target audience in a different and creative way.
Like it. Any other questions, or anyone want to pick Ashley's brain on their specific campaigns? Going once, going twice. All right, well, it looks like we'll give you some time back. Thank you everyone for attending. Thank you, Ashley, for giving us this intro around Google Ad Grants. I hope each of you took away a tip or a trick. I will be sharing the deck as well as this recording to you. So if you do have any follow-up questions, you'll know who to reach out to. Other than that, have a wonderful rest of the day, and see you all next time.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.